Welcome to the second episode of Outside the Jungle. I'm your host, Shane Albahrani, and we have another exciting show for you. There's some breaking Komet news. We'll also visit with assistant coach Olivier Legault. We'll show some highlights that sparked a new rivalry from last season. We'll get into some more Komet trivia, and of course, we'll hear some classic calls from Bob Chase. But first up, here is our interview with assistant coach Olivier Legault. The big 6'5" tough forward started his playing career in Fort Wayne back in 2007, and during that season, the big guy collected 178 penalty minutes and quickly became a fan favorite. He would finish his playing career in 2011, winning 2 championships with the Komets, and now Olivier is entering his 3rd season as assistant coach, and we'll hear from him right after this.
Season tickets for the 69th season of Komet Hockey are on sale now. No lines, no fees, no hassles, and all the fun. Right now, you can save up to 25% off walk-up pricing on prime seat locations. See every home game and receive exclusive season ticket holder benefits like ticket exchange nights, future season location upgrades, and discounts on souvenirs and merchandise. Act now to save big and join the greatest fan base in the ECHL. Call the Komet office or visit komets.com/tickets and join the crowd.
All right, Olivier Legault is with us here tonight. And Olivier, let's go back. Let's talk a little bit about what the season was like for you. It was your first year as a full-time assistant coach. So what was it like for you?
I mean, it was a great learning experience. I mean, it was actually, not only was my first year as officially behind the bench for the whole season, but it was also my first year for a full season behind being the defensive coach. So that was also a learning experience. And it was good. I mean, to say I was perfect, far from that, but I think me and Benny have a great working relationship, and I think we try to get better every day. And I think if you get to the rink with that mentality of wanting to get better every day, you'll succeed at, wanting to get better, at your job. And if you come home or to the rink thinking you know everything, well, you're already behind the 8 ball.
And 2 years ago, you were the 3rd man on the totem pole as far as coaching. You were the 3rd coach. Now you're number 2. So how did your role change between Gary and Ben?
Well, responsibilities is the biggest thing. I mean, your responsibilities become a little bigger, and it's just like any job, you get a bigger role, more responsibility, different tasks to do. Give you an example. When I was with Gary and Ben as a 3rd guy, one of my responsibility was to take the face-off and kind of keep track of who's playing against who's doing good against. One of our enemy was Jenks. He wasn't with us at the time, and kind of figure out who's doing better against him. And that was a pretty hard task to do. But so now as more of the defensive coach, still doing the face-off, but just you got more to do, so you got to be more alert and ready to take the challenge.
Well, you talk about AJ. You guys landed AJ last summer, so your job was easier then, since you had him in your lineup.
Absolutely. So, I mean, some nights he might have some nights off like anybody would, but I tell you what, most of the nights in and out, he's one of our best centermen as far as face-off goes. I mean, even him working with our younger centerman, you could tell it makes a big difference. They can tell he's got a lot of experience, and you can't teach that. It's that experiences is just, you got to do it. After so many years, you see so many situations. Same goes for coaching. Was there a lot of first time for me this year? Same for Benny as a head coach. Well, next year, when you're put in that situation, you hopefully learn from what you didn't do good to do better. And stuff that did work, well, you already know, okay, I know what to do. This worked that time, so I'm going to try it again. So.
Now, one of the things you do, you break down a lot of film. You guys are in the film room an awful lot, and that's one of the big responsibilities you have.
Absolutely. I mean, but one thing I got to say is Benny does as much film as I do. That's one thing. I mean, we're prepared for that. And you know what? What he sees might be different than what I see. So when we meet back in the morning or whenever we have our meetings before we go talk to the boys, he might have seen something I didn't see, and vice versa. I might have seen something I didn't see. The one thing we try to split for video work, as far as I would try to do my video work with the defenseman, and he would try to do his video work with the forward. So this way, it lights up the task, the load work a little bit. I'm inventing some words as we go here. You can tell.
So how do when you watch film, what is the difference between how Ben sees it and how you sees it? You said it was, you're more defensively, but like you said, 10 people are going to watch the same video and 10 people could find different things. But I'm sure you guys probably worked out a system where you're looking for certain things and he's looking for certain things.
Well, exactly. Well, listen, I mean, being the defensive coach this year, you're obviously going to look more a little bit of, you're going to pay attention to your guys that you coach a lot more on defense. So you're always kind of looking as a defensive play first and see what he could have done better, or after the pass, does he follow the play, or did he look at where he was making the pass? Did he shoulder check when he went to go get the puck in his defensive zone? Maybe Benny, when he looks at the video, he looks more as an offensive flair to it. Okay, well, he could have done this on this play on a rush or a power play situation. So I think in our own definition of our work, maybe I try to look more maybe at the defensive side of things, because that's the situation I'm in most of the games. And maybe Benny will look more of it as an offensive-minded approach to it.
Now, you said what do you plan on, continuing your growth as an assistant coach? What do you want to get better at next season?
Well, I think, every situation, like I said earlier, that you were up to and you kind of had okay, that didn't work. What can I do better? And then you go watch film and say, and you'll look at it and say, okay, well, that situation, what I proposed or what we did as a staff was maybe not the right solution. So next time we'll break it down and maybe approach, or the verbiage too. Sometimes you'll try to explain something, maybe the verbiage you're using didn't connect with the room you have, so you got to figure out different verbiage. And those situations, like this week, is we would be normally at the NHL draft doing the coaches conference and all that. Well, it's all online, just like we're talking today. And me and Benny are listening to videos of NHL coaches. National team of Team USA, all people all over the world that are in the hockey community that all have different mindset, different style of coaching. And when you're a coach, the way you grow is you try to take everything that you really like from coaches you like and try to implement in your own way of thinking also. And this way, you'll get better, and it's experience too. So the more experience, just same for you, I'm sure. For you, Shane, when you were learning from the great Bob Chase, I'm sure you learned a lot of stuff, and then you put your own little twist to it.
And so, you're right. Is it sometimes when you're a new coach like that, is it overload when you've got 30 different coaches? Like you said, you're doing this thing online, but you've got all this information you're trying to juggle.
Well, you still got to stay yourself at the end of the day, and for me at least, I got to be the second voice to Benny. Like whatever he says, got to be the same message between me and him. I can't be going out there and saying a different thing than him. So I got to be the voice, and that is no problem. And I also got to be the in-between guy, the messenger, if you want, between the players and Benny. If some players are too shy or too intimidated by the head roll job, I can be the in-between of, okay, well, a player might feel that way. Maybe he's too shy to talk to Benny. So he comes to talk to me, which I'm a way bigger guy. So, I don't know why. So you just got to be able to relate and listening. Listening is probably the number one key in communication. If you don't listen, you're not a good communicator.
Do you show the boys any of your old film?
Oh yeah, they know I wasn't brought to Fort Wayne to score 50 goals. They definitely know that. So when and you could see, I don't know if it has to do anything, but this year, we brought a hockey style that I love, and to lead the league in majors, and I think the fans were well treated in the type of team that Benny and I put together. I think we wanted to bring the old school Fort Wayne hockey back, and I think the fans. It wasn't perfect for any means or season, but I as far as the show on the ice, I thought fans had a lot of good nights.
Yeah, and you brought in a lot of great players. Kyle Haas is a guy who Benny and I talked about last week, and I'll talk to him about you. He led the league in penalty minutes, and he was a guy coming in on a tryout, and he kind of reminded me a little bit of you. You had that fire.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the only difference is he played on defense and I play as a forward, but you're absolutely right. Kyle Haas, when we recruited him in the summer, he came in on a tryout, and we had heard a lot of good things about him. He's a captain. was named top captain in his league, and the leadership role that he had, his presence was awesome, and he was beloved by the fans, by his teammates, and what he did for his team is it was always the team first, not selfish player at all. Which all our guys, that's one of the biggest thing I think we did this year, is we built such a great locker room, and that was one of the biggest things came back in our end of the year interviews is how good of a locker room we had, how guys gelled and got really close together. Even if there was quite a few players going through the lineups with the two affiliation, we still had a great core of locker room.
Yeah, and Kyle Haas was one of those guys where I think his locker room presence was probably number one on the list. It wasn't even so much a skill on the ice; it was what he was doing in the locker room.
And absolutely, and the way he handled himself and the way he played on the ice and off the ice was one of the main reasons he made the team. I mean, I remember the day that we told him he made the team, and he came in the locker room, and I know Benny shared this, but when we called him in the morning, he walked in the office and he's like, "Please don't send me home. I want to be here," and all that. And it was such the one thing of want to be part of the Komets, and that's what you want. You want guys that will play for that front of the jersey, and they don't care about what's in the back. You know, they represent the Komets, and that's the type of player you want on your team. And I believe I was the type of player like that bleeds orange. And when you get players that are like that, you got a chance to go far.
So now we're in the summer months. We're obviously recruiting. What is your role in the recruiting process right now? What are you doing?
Well, I love this part. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite parts of the job. I mean, it's like cold calling if you want a little bit. I mean, you cannot knock on the door and think that you won't be able to maybe have a player. You got to be able to call somebody and have him say, "No, I'm not interested," because sometimes you'll think a player, he won't play in Fort Wayne, and their family situation might change. They might have a wife that's pregnant. Let's say from Europe, they want to leave Europe and be more in a stable environment. And next thing you know, you'll get a quality player just because you Facebooked him or Instagram him and say, "Hey, listen, are you interested coming back?" Especially this season with the COVID going. I mean, everywhere in the world it's kind of unstable. So some players might look to stay closer to home or in a more natural environment than they usually would take. So, but my job, to answer your question, I mean, it's to look through all the players to make sure that you don't have any stone unturned or unturned stone, however you say it, and just to make sure that you call any number that you think could be a possibility for your team.
Yeah. And you and Ben, you guys have got just the most interesting relationship as far as a head coach and assistant coach goes. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. And the scary thing is that, someday you guys, might going to leave Fort Wayne. You guys are going to move on, but I think you guys will have to be a team. I mean, there's going to have to be like a dual resume. It's like you guys cannot separate.
Well, the great thing is when you have a great working relationship like this, and I tell my family and everybody is, when I wake up, I don't feel like I'm going to work. I wake up, I'm doing what I love. I do it with somebody that I love and like. And, I mean, it's the whole Komets organization, too. I mean, I played here. I know how well we're treated. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else as right now. I mean, do I want to move up eventually in years down the road? Yeah, we all want to move up. But right now, I'm very happy where I'm at. And I couldn't ask for a better situation coaching with Benny.
Oh, well, buddy, we are happy you are happy, and we're glad that you are here, my man. We'll wrap it up.
Thank you. Same here.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Legs, man. We will see you down the road. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Well, thanks. I thought you were going to ask me about my cooking and my new stay-home role that I had for the last 3 months. I mean,
okay, let's do it. What have you been cooking? What recipes? What are you going to cook for us now?
Well, I make a killer mac and cheese, a killer spaghetti. No, I've been just enjoying, like a lot of people, I've been enjoying, not enjoying, but I've been taking advantage of the situation we're in. I mean, usually, you're just getting done with playoff if you went far, and you got 3 months that, and a lot of hockey coaches or hockey workers usually don't get with their families. So,
yeah.
It's a situation everybody was in. Everything was done virtually, almost every players conference, every meeting me and Benny had with David or whoever we had a meeting with is all by Zoom or phone or web camera. But as far as getting that time that you usually never get throughout the year was was great. Stay-at-home dad. I tell you what, I got a lot of respect for stay-at-home moms or stay-at-home dads now. Sometimes it might look easy, but it's not that easy. It's quite a job, and it's a full-time job. I mean, you don't realize until you do it, but it was fun. It was still fun.
Oh, good. And you have 3 little ones, so it's crazy for you.
Yeah. No free time and a dog too. So when I get a break, the dog wants something. So then I'm running a little. I gave them 20 minutes of food here. They should be good. So I think I got to go see if they're they're still knocking on the door, I think so. How about yourself? You staying sane with all this free time?
I'm staying sane. I'm figuring out little projects to do, and like you said, just taking advantage of the situation. There's nothing we can do about it, but let's just hope that everything's going to be okay, and we'll get started in October.
Perfect. Did you practice your WWE commentating this summer?
Hey, you know what? That would be something that would be a dream of mine. I would love to be a WWE announcer.
Well, we saw this year that you're pretty good at it.
All right, buddy.
Well, thanks,
take
Shane.
care. Go make that macaroni and cheese.
All right. See you.
If you want more of Olivier Legault, check out episode 27 of the Huntington University Komets podcast. You can find that one along with all the other episodes, including ones featuring Sean Tavlowski, Anthony Petruzzelli, and AJ Jenks under fanzone at komets.com or at Apple Podcast. Now, the reason I mentioned those 3 is because they have all re-signed with the Fort Wayne Komets for the upcoming season, and I'm sure a lot of fans are happy to have that trio back out on the ice. Sean Tadlowski will be returning for his 8th season with the Komets. The 2017-2018 ECHL Most Valuable Player led the league in power play points and assists last season while adding 15 goals, 41 assists, and 74 penalty minutes to his Komets total. Sadlowski is currently 13th on the Komets' all-time goal-scoring list with 164, and he also has 269 career assists as a Komet, ranking him 16th all-time. Anthony Petruzzelli scored 17 goals and added 16 assists in his second full season as a pro and was presented with the Komets' Mr. Hustle and Stonewall Defensive Forward Awards at the end of last season. He also took home the Bud Gallmeyer Community Service Award and the Wigman Family True Komet Award, exemplifying team spirit and a positive attitude on and off the ice. Petruzzelli is only the 2nd player to take home 4 season-ending awards. Petruzzelli's season was also highlighted with his first professional hat trick, scored on January 25th during a 4-3 loss at Toledo. And finally, AJ Jenks will wear the orange and black for the 2nd straight season and his 11th overall as a pro. After 5 seasons with the rival Toledo Walleye, Jenks signed with the Komets in August of 2019. After playing 51 games with the Komets, Jenks now has appeared in 349 regular season ECHL games. The veteran finished the 2019-20 campaign with 15 goals, 22 assists for 37 points, and was named captain on December 31st, 2019. Next up, we go back to October 25th for some highlights. The Jacksonville Icemen were in town that night for a game that went to overtime, and it was a bit of a preview of what was going to happen just a few months later down in Jacksonville. Then after the highlights, we're going to be playing some Komet trivia, so stick around for all of that because it's coming up right after this.
Season tickets for the 69th season of Komet Hockey are on sale now. No lines, no fees, no hassles, and all the fun. Right now, you can save up to 25% off walk-up pricing on prime seat locations. See every home game and receive exclusive season ticket holder benefits like ticket exchange nights, future season location upgrades, and discounts on souvenirs and merchandise. Act now to save big and join the greatest fan base in the ECHL. Call the Komet office or visit komets.com/tickets and join the crowd.
Iceman, turn it over. Morrison gets it across the line. Now here's a shot, and it's going to be score!
They're saying it went in. It's in the net.
Yeah, everybody late to react because everyone was watching the water bottle that jumped up about 3 feet in the air. And it is a goal. Actually, the water bottle was pretty much destroyed by that wrister from Mason Berg. And the Komets lead it 1-0. 6:49 to go in the first period. So the Komets get on the board first. And the puck comes up to the blue line. Binkley winds up, shot, score! Jason Binkley! Changed directions at the last second. Binkley with the rip, and let's see if it hits somebody.
Well, I think Berg's going to get the assist because it went back to Binkley cleanly from the draw. Here's the shot.
And now we got some extras going on. The gloves have dropped, and it will be Haas. Haas going after it. It's Emerson Clark, and now they go down. He will stop it.
Another fight.
Another fight below the line. It is going to be Jenks. Jenks gets it tangled up with Chase Lang, and now Jenks going after Lang as the linesman quickly gets in between them. And it goes up top to Brassard. Brassard angling to his left, takes a shot. Score! Matt Brassard!
That was deflected something, either off of one of the Jacksonville players.
So we'll take that one. We're tied at 3. 4:32 to go in the period. Oh, bad pass. We're going to have a breakaway. They're coming in on Villalta. They shoot. Save made. Villalta.
Bad mistake at the Jacksonville blue line. The defense giving it to each other.
Goes into the corner. Gottlieb goes back behind the nets. Gottlieb on the far side. Splits the defenders. Takes a shot. Scores. Komets winning it
There you go.
overtime. Max Gottlieb.
We'll take that win.
We get a replay here. Komets win it in overtime.
All right, here we go. Komets trivia. We have got Brandon for you here today. He is set to answer 5 big questions. 5 questions. See if he can win some prizes. Are you ready, Brandon?
Yes, I am, Shane.
He is ready. He looks very determined. I got a good feeling about Brandon. Okay. Question number 1. Again, the first 2 are warm-ups. They'll get a little bit harder from there. Question number 1. The Komets used 6 goaltenders last season. Just give me one of them. I just need one.
Dylan Ferguson.
Dylan Ferguson is a correct answer. Cole Kaler, Patrick Munson, Stefanos Lekas, Stephen Dillon, and Matt Villalta all would have been acceptable answers. All right, you got one. Here we go. Number 2. 14 times a Komet has won league MVP honors. Len Thornton did it 7 times out of those 14. But let's think about who won the MVP the last time as a Komet. Back in 2017, 2018, who won the ECHL MVP?
That should be Sean Sidlowski.
That should, and it is Sean Sidlowski. So 2 in a row for Brandon. He is 2 of 2. Now they're going to get a little bit harder, just a little bit. So Kaylee Schrock is going to be here, and he is going to tell you whether you are wrong or right. Yes, okay. Number 3. What season did the Komets start playing hockey in Fort Wayne? What year?
That would have been the 1951-1952 season.
1952 we will accept. Yes, 1952. We'll take that. And the Komets, Ernie Berg brought the Komets to Fort Wayne, and he named the Komets with a K after his wife, Catherine. So we'll take that, 1952. And Kaylee Schrock says you are correct. All right, so we are going to number 4. So it gets a little bit tougher here. All right, so we've established that 1952 was the Komets' first season. What team did they play in that very first game on October 25th, 1952? Now here's your hint.
Boy.
Here's your hint. We still play these guys to this day, and there's a little rivalry there.
Little rival. I would have to say Toledo.
Toledo is correct. They were the Toledo Mercuries at the time. And again, October 25th, 1952 was the date. And since that time, the Komets have played a team from Toledo 518 times. So, a lot.
That's definitely going to create a rivalry.
The most of any other city. All right, so you are 4 for 4, my good man. So we are going to the big question. And the way you've handled these first 4, I don't think you're going to have a problem here with number 5. So, but in tradition with this game, we give you the duration of one Kaylee Schrock fight. to find the answer. So we give you the ability to cheat here just a little bit. But so here we go. Here is number 5. Who has played the most games as a Fort Wayne Komet?
Most games as a Komet. Well, it's probably going to be between 2 of them, and I had to pick between one of the 2. I would say Guy Dupuis.
Guy Dupuis is correct. 5 of 5, Brandon. Outstanding job. I didn't really fool you at all. You had all those questions, all those answers ready to go. So outstanding job, my man. We have got bobbleheads coming your way, and thank you for joining me here on Komets Trivia.
Thank you for having me, Shane. It's been an honor.
It's time for the final segment of the show, and we're going back to October 17th, 2008. The Komets were in Port Huron to start the season. That would end up with the Komets hoisting the Turner Cup around the Coliseum. So let's send it out to Bob Chase in Port Huron.
Komets waiting patiently back in the runway while all the Port Huron Ice Hawks are being introduced. The whole team coming out and awaiting the Komets' appearance on the ice. And we'll be ready to roll Game 1 of the 2008-2009 International Hockey League season. Now here come the Komets. And of course, they get the usual Bronx cheer from this partisan crowd, and why not? That in itself, of course, a compliment to the Komets and their competitiveness. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how all these lines mesh tonight. Are you ready for some hockey? Boy, I sure am. Ferroni picking it up, sending it out to center. Into the zone one more time. It is Legault. Legault follows his man down in the corner. It's broken up again. Komets have it. Here they go, walking in. Ferroni lets him shoot, score! As Rick Ferroni, the first goal of the year for the Fort Wayne Komets. A good forecheck at the line. In he goes at 2 minutes and 6 seconds. The little brawl going down there. Beckett and Zer going at each other right at the blue line, and Zer grabs Beckett and tries to drive him to the boards, and Beckett got loose and hit him a couple more. Chopped out by Shafronov. Out to center, Chalk in a battle for the puck, can't play it. Here they come. Komets over center. Into the zone. Dupuis again. He puts it on the net. Save. Picked back up by Shafronov. Schaff up the middle shot. Ooh, what a save. They score. Oh, I thought for sure Sterling had the puck, but jumping up in the hole and banging that one in at 14:36. Komets back in the lead. All right, here we come. Back in the zone again. It's Veroni, and he can't get to it. Now instead it is a drive wide of the net as Sterling came way out of the goal. In the corner, Hart Bertram fighting for the loose puck. And they're jamming away at it one more time. It's kept in at the line. And a good hit by the Komets as here we come. Breaking loose is Curdo. He's in. He lifts. He fires. Score! Curdo gets the breakaway. And a shorthanded goal. And that makes it 4-2 Komets. But back up it comes one more time. Right up the middle. And they in the slot. They fight for the loose puck down in the corner. And here goes McMillan. And McMillan's got a big one. He's got a big one. Oh, does he nail him? McMillan's got a big one down there in Turner. Turner's about 6'4". McMillan is 5'10". Well, we haven't seen the end of that one. Got a little chippy a couple of times, but it appears we have an equalizer line. And they really seem to get their job done. And that equalizer line features Brad McMillan, Olivier Legault, and Maxim Gravel. These three really go out and crank and bang. Up top shot, save! Nicely as Osmond jumps in the hole. He's got it. Sends it behind the goal again. Here's Chalk, and he knocks the D-man flying. Back comes Chalk in front of it, and another one. As Osmond picks up his third goal of the night. Right place, right time. Osmond. picks up the hat trick. 6-2 is the score as McMillan, with no stick, just has to go in and go to work on whatever he can find, and I think we might have a scrum in the corner. We had a scrum in the corner. Here we go again. Now we got the helmet off, and McMillan again. He's got a big guy, and he nailed him about 3. He's trying to get a shot, and here we go. Now McMillan nailed him. He put him down. McMillan hit him so hard he dazed him. Oh, yeah. And this time the guy he picked on was Robert Cowan at 6'4". McMillan knows his way around the fight, I'll tell you. And they go left side, trying to play it again. Huckalo with a good forecheck is pulled down on the play. And that's it. Game over. End of. Final score, Komets 6 and the Port Huron Ice Hawks 2.
That's the show. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and we're all looking forward to next season. But until that time, we'll see everyone outside the jungle.